And the truth is, of course, none of us can work out who God is. Only He can reveal Himself to us. What we can do is give God space to do that. All we've got to do is give Him the space. And that means that anyone, you, me, anyone can encounter God. It's nothing to do with cleverness. In fact, if anything, cleverness can be a bit of a burden. Cluelessness is an asset. But if we genuinely seek Him without any preconceptions, we will find Him. Many hundreds of years ago, even before the Vikings landed on this very spot, took a look around and called it the place of the bent grass. I guess they came in November. Some missionaries sailed down that bit of sea behind me there. It's called the Minch, and they sailed to Skye, the isle over there, and the Isles of Lewis and Harris, which are just a little bit further over that way. And they told of a God to people who hadn't a clue what they were going on about. But those people then encountered this God in such a real way that they then set sail down the Minch, and off they went across Europe 2 by 2, telling people about the faith that they'd found, even at great risk to their own lives. It's a wonderful period of church history called the Celtic Missions. And I so wish I could experience God in such a life-changing way. Don't you? I mean, but the problem is, where on earth do you begin? I must admit, even now, after who knows how long being a Christian, I still sometimes feel as clueless as my forebears who lived on this little bit of land. But at least we have some examples from history of what to go on. And so, for instance, on some of those smaller islands out there, I don't think you can see them today. Actually, the mist has closed in a bit. But on some of those smaller islands, there are little chapels built where some of those early Celtic believers took themselves away from any distraction just to discover God. And Abraham, I imagine, did the same. He went off to reflect, pray and seek God. We don't know much about the journey he was on, how long he was gone for, or what it looked like, but we do know the outcomes, the result of it. We know how it ends. Little by little, God speaks and begins to reveal Himself. And the truth is, of course, none of us can work out who God is. Only He can reveal Himself to us. What we can do is give God space to do that. Now, we don't need to go and live as hermits on little islands, though on a day like today, actually, that's pretty attractive. All we've got to do is give Him the space. And that means that anyone, you, me, anyone can encounter God. It's nothing to do with cleverness. In fact, if anything, cleverness can be a bit of a burden. Cluelessness is an asset. Sometimes it's the clever, the religious people who struggle most to know God intimately. But if we genuinely seek Him without any preconceptions, we will find Him. This is the Bible story from beginning to end. It's the story of Abraham, and it can be the story for you and me too. Of course, that may have already been your story once, but somehow, somewhere, it hasn't panned out for you quite as you would have hoped, and you're now left wondering what was true and what wasn't. Well, I just really want to encourage you, come back and give Him another go. I don't know what went wrong. Perhaps life just squeezed the breath out of your faith, or maybe, honestly, your faith was never as real as you thought it was in the first place. But all that is by the by. What the story of Abraham shows us is that it's possible to encounter God in an utterly profound, life-changing way. And over the centuries, so many others have found this to be true for themselves too, including, of course, those early Celts who lived sometime somewhere over there, and me right here, right now. And there's honestly no reason why that cannot be true for you too, if you give Him space as Abraham did. My name's Colin Piper, and I'll see you soon.